Everyone's excited for T-Rex, and I'm here excited for Allosaurus. What about you? So many of you must know by now that T-Rex is of course going to be out any day now in Horde Test, and this is definitely going to spike up the game to a whole other level in terms of excitement, people coming back to the game, even down to people buying the game. It's going to be massive. There's probably not going to be any other time in the IO I can imagine that's going to be as big as this, just simply because of the popularity of the dinosaur. Allosaurus being a close, probably second or third as well. Now don't get me wrong, I love myself some T-Rex. I will definitely play the shit out of it when it comes out. But I've always personally preferred mid-tiers. I think they just make the game run better. You got the challenge of fighting and punching above your weight if you're good enough, and also having to fight off some small tiers and of course other mid-tiers. So there's always something to do to protect yourself from and to hunt as well. It's just great. It's all-round fun. Why Allosaurus specifically? I'm just being biased here because I love it, as I know most of you do too. It is definitely one of the most popular dinosaurs out there. So to explain a little bit as to why, apart from what I've already said, it's going to be another dinosaur that's going to be bringing a lot of popularity. And why do we need it more than ever? Well, if it was up to me, I would have Allosaurus come first, probably alongside Kentro, which I'll get onto later on in the video. And I would have it come first as in before Triceratops and Tyrannosaurus Rex, simply because they're both apexes and they're just way ahead of the game. But of course, we live in reality where Dondi has made the choice to make T-Rex and Triceratops come first. So we're here. At least it's not two pathetic dinos, eh? At least it's something that's going to be bringing something to the game. But why we'll need it more than ever and as soon as possible, but knowing that IO will definitely be probably 4 months after the release of T-Rex and Trike, when Allo will come, if we're lucky, or we live in a really lucky time, maybe even earlier. But when we're going to have T-Rex and Trike, they're apexes, they're way above everything. We haven't really got any proper mid-tier predator, like at all. Everything is small tier. Even Carno is practically small tier, even though it's not meant to be, but the way it's been made, it's not what it used to be. In fact, Carno should be a close rival to Allo. Allo being usually the one that would win a fight, especially one-on-one or face tanking. But Carno was always the one, at least in Legacy and the old version of Carno, I would imagine it being something that would make Allo kind of think twice as well. Like, okay, I can probably win this, but I can't be stupid about this fight, right? Allo obviously will have much more of a weaponry compared to Carno. Carno's more of a hit and run. And how it is now, it's just not the best. It ain't terrible. You can still have a lot of fun with it, but it's not what it used to be. And I do feel like the nerf was just unnecessary for Carno. So this is why we'll need something like Allo. And we know Allo's coming next. This is why I'm not bringing up any other mid-tiers. I'm not here to speculate about what we should have instead or there and that. I'm trying to speak more realistically because we know we're going to have Allo next after these two apexes come into the game. It will help bring a balance to the game. It will help those that want an actual mid-tier predator to have one. Because at the moment, you have stuff like Dilo, Carno, Cerato, which has also been nerfed in Horde Test, by the way, which thankfully, it's about damn time, because that thing was way too OP for its size. I mean, its agility is great, its speed is pretty damn good. Obviously, it has a very fast bite, on top of that a charge bite, and of course, on top of that a bio. It's a little demon. Even if you're shit at the game, you can do pretty damn well with Cerato. That's why I never really say GG's to someone who kills me when they're a Cerato, unless they've actually played well. Because usually, you don't really need much skill to play Cerato well, because it's just too good. Now, if you're fighting Stegos, for example, or Cerato, then okay, you definitely took your time, because you have to know how to fight that. Even though that should still not really be possible. I still see it more often than I would like, which luckily that will change in the new update. So Allo will have to take that place. It'll be able to pound Stegos, it'll have high bleed, it'll have its ambush, which I've heard will work slightly differently. Apparently won't be crouching and then a burst of speed, but I just heard that. I didn't see any confirmation anyway, so take that as you will. But right now it's definitely heavy sided on the herbivores. I mean, we've got stuff like Maya, which is a heavy bastard. Stego we've had forever, which FYI I never thought was OP. I will say this for the 50th time in my videos. Stego's not OP, there was just never a counter for it. Allo is a great counter for Stego. It's quite a large mid-tier. Yes, Stego is an apex, some call it pseudo-apex, but it's still an apex nonetheless. It's just smaller than, it's just on the smaller side in terms of apexes, let's say. Even though it's really good at taking on trikes as well, actually. We killed the trike. It's not actually as bad as I thought it would be in that situation. I thought Trike was going to walk all over Stego, but ain't so much the case. But I do feel like 2 Allos with a Stego would be quite a good fight. And Allos are pack hunters as well. You can play them solo too, which is what's great about them. Solo players will finally have something to do, as well as people that want to play with 2 or 3 friends, well, including themselves, sorry, so 2 or 3 people. You can go have some fun. You can play stealthy, you can play aggressive, you have some good speed on you, you'll be able to avoid stuff like T-Rex if you want to, probably even fight it to some extent. Even though I do believe Apex is such a large jump that there's not going to be many mid-tiers unless you're highly skilled as a player. But I don't think there'll be many mid-tiers that'll be able to take on Apexes, because Apexes have really been made more stronger in Evrima, especially that you can't really tail ride anymore. You got auto attacks and all these other attacks that come with these dinosaurs too, which is good really, because if you are growing something that takes as long as a T-Rex or Triceratops or any other Apex, you'd want it to be able to last, right? Unless you're just really bad and the mid-tier is very good, then that's fair game to the mid-tier. Now to touch up on Kentro, I really do hope that Kentrosaurus will come with Allo. Maybe they can have a similar thing like T-Rex and Trike, where they have their own horde test together or separately and then together. So I feel like even though Kentro is kind of on the smaller side, it's not as big as Allo. It's not tiny either though. It will be something that can fight quite nicely. It will definitely be a dinosaur that will punch above its weight. So if you're an aggro player, it'll be great for that. If you're defensive, then well, there's a lot of things that won't be able to attack you anymore. Like Omni, it's not having a good time, which is about damn time. Something that can actually stop pounces happening. And I just think Kentro and Allo will balance each other off quite nicely. They'll kind of work well together in the roster, even though there'll be another herbivore, and you could say we're starting to get too much on the herbivore side as we are now already. It won't be something that I think that'll be too traumatic for the game to handle at the time. But Allosaurus, it better come soon, and it better come soon after the release of Rex and Trike. And that's not because I'm trying to be greedy here and I'm one of those that just wants older playables and I want them now. It's just purely because there won't really be anything in between the largest carnivore, which is Carnotaurus. Now I know some people are going to start saying Deinosuchus, but that's strictly pretty much water. I know it's semi-aquatic, but it's 9% of its life is in water, so don't count that at the moment. But there won't be anything else. So you're pretty much relying on T-Rex, which of course a lot of people are going to play. So unless you're playing in an unofficial server where there's limits on how many people can be the same dino, officials are going to be T-Rex and Trike and many T-Rex only for a long time. Like, it's too popular. Allo will help balance that because it's a very popular dino too. So it's another thing that people will play, and they'll play a lot of it. I know there's even people in my server that are Allo fans to the point where they don't even care about T-Rex. They just only want to play Allo. In fact, when I ever play with them in Legacy, they only ever play Allo, and I know there's a lot of people like that. And because it's an interesting mid-tier, you also see it. I know there's a lot of people that say about, oh, it's only going to be Apexes from now on because everyone's going to want to play an Apex. If you've played Legacy enough, you'll know that that's not the case. Yes, you will always see Apexes, but you'll still mainly see mid-tiers because they're easier to grow. They don't take as long as an Apex either. So even an Apex player that may have just died, they might want to still play the Isle but not really want to grow another whole Apex quite yet. So they'll probably dive into something that's not too weak on the small side. They'll go right in the middle, the Goldilocks zone, and that's where you'll bring Allo. If you have a look even in its concept art, it's hunting Para, which is a big boy. It's utilizing its ambush here, its claws here, which is going to be great. I wonder how that's going to work, because I know they're doing a lot with its claws that you're going to be able to use them. Same with Spinosaurus as well. So we've never had, at least from what I can think of, we don't actually have anything that can do that at the moment. It's all just biting with your face, hitting with your head, ramming, tail swinging, stuff like that. Nothing that you could probably bite with and use a claw. So I wonder how they're going to do it with the buttons to make that not too complicated. Or maybe I'm just overthinking it. Maybe it's not going to be too complicated. But I also hope that Allo's not going to be so slow like it was in Legacy when it's little. I don't expect it to be a little Ferrari, but hopefully not too slow, because that was painful. It was always painful to start growing an Allo. It was just nice when you were an adult Allo. But what do you guys think? Are you wanting to see Allo as soon as possible? Are you happy to wait? Would you like Kentro to come with it? Or would you prefer it to be a solo release? And bear in mind, for you that don't know, I'm sure most of you probably already know this part, but Allosaurus is even in skin creator in the horde test at the moment, so that was quite a big surprise to me. So who knows, maybe it's actually closer. Maybe they're gonna surprise us and release it alongside T-Rex and Trike. That's obviously just a dream. I doubt that's gonna happen, like I really do. The IO devs do have a funny way of showing us stuff and teasing things that makes it look like it's kind of around the corner. Somehow you're 6 months down the line and wondering, where is this? So don't hold your breath. We can have a bit of excitement, why not? Doesn't hurt anyone, right? That's enough about Allosaurus. Here are just 2 other playables I would like to see kind of soon in the mid-tier section. Now, I'm not going to mention Osteoraptor or Baryonyx because we know they're coming soon. We know they're part of this roster that's coming out, this part of dinos that they have said are coming. So we might even see them if we're very lucky at the end of this year or sometime early next year. And by early next year, whenever I say that with the isle, that could be anywhere from January to May, okay? Not just January, February. Unfortunately, this is the isle we're playing, so everything does take a while. But at least the execution is usually always really good. You gotta admit that. So what I would like to see, I would like to see Suko, because that's another big mid-tier, even bigger than Allo, semi-aquatic. It's not even a dino that I really even played in Legacy, to be honest with you. But it's something that I would really like to play in Evrima. Semi-aquatics have always been something that have been fun in the game. Dino's kind of been the only one I've really ever used to play, especially back in Spyro. Not so much in Gateway, but I feel like the more semi-aquatics we add, the more we're going to just start seeing in general people playing them, because you're going to have the waters which will feel more alive. It won't just be a lonely dino anymore. It'll be a dino that has to face so much during its growth stage, in like Suko's, until it gets big. And the ones that get big have played very smartly or just very good combat players, right? So it makes you feel like you've earned it. So Suko will be good at cock blocking you in that sense, but even just for having fun, having another Spinosaurid that can do a lot in the water as well as on land, and even gives Allosaurus a run for its money, and T-Rexes whilst they're growing. And another one would be Para, really. I mean, this is another popular one. I like it because it looks different. Looks very different to most dinosaurs. It'll add some beauty and elegance to the isle as well, Phil. It'll probably be one of those that the devs actually give a nice color palette to, not just the same for every bloody dinosaur as it kind of seems like they're doing now. Not that I'm hating too much on them, but I feel like we need a bit more color variations for some dinosaurs. And Para, I think, will be one of those that will look great. Its sound in Legacy was usually pretty damn cool, so I'm sure it's going to sound amazing in Evrima. It's big and it's fast. It'll be a great food source for a lot of predators, even probably apexes, because of its size. But that's not to say that it's going to be another meatball for you to just eat, as they are definitely making sure that Para will be able to defend itself. But this is a dangerous one because of its speed simply, and its weight and all of that. If they give it too much defense, we all know what's going to happen. Para players are going to go on the offensive. Sure, there will be some nice ones that just want to be a Para and play it like it should, which is surviving and defensive and or being a mam and all this kind of stuff. But there are going to be players that are going to go around hunting, and as you can, and as you should. You know, if you enjoy doing that and you're in a server that doesn't say you can't, then why not? Go have fun. But of course, people will cry about it. And Para might be one of those that actually can make the game in a really bad state, because simply its speed, you can't run away from a Para. Most things can't, at least. Okay, a Galley probably can, but you don't want to be growing Cerato and being constantly bum-fucked by a Para. Same with Allo as well. Like, I know Allos can fight Paras, but Paras can fuck up Allos quite nicely, especially with their stomp, if that's going to be in the game again. But yeah, that's enough blabbering on. Let me know what you guys think about Allo and everything else I spoke about. What are your thoughts and what would you like to add on? Apart from that, you guys have a great day and peace.